Out front now, the Republican Congressman Ken Buck. And Congressman, look, this is not where your speaker expected this to be. Obviously, you voted against impeaching Secretary Mayorkas based on the facts as you saw them. Only 3 of your Republican colleagues voted with you, and only 2 of them as in the same way that you did, based on the way that you actually saw the story. You stopped this impeachment, Congressman. You were able to do that, and you did it based on principle and how you saw it. What's your reaction to this stunning vote tonight?
Well, my reaction is it's going to change tomorrow, as so many things do in Congress. But I think the principle is very clear that Mayorkas did not commit a high crime or misdemeanor. Mike Gallagher was a last-minute switch on this issue, and I give him a lot of credit for having the constitutional knowledge and intestinal fortitude to do the right thing. I'm disappointed that tomorrow it will pass because we are setting new levels, low levels, for these impeachments. And we're going to see impeachments of presidents more often. We're going to see impeachments of cabinet members more often. It is not the way we should be going when we need to focus on solving the very difficult problems that we have in this country.
No, and of course it will take quite some time to go ahead with an impeachment proceeding and hearings and all the things that would go with it. Obviously, Manu was laying out that Steve Scalise was not present and that when he came back, the Republicans, the Speaker, would be able to have the votes. Sounds like from what you're saying that you think that this will go ahead, that he will go back and do this again.
Yeah, tomorrow morning we will have another vote. Steve Scalise is expected back in town sometime around 11:30. My guess is before noon tomorrow we will have this vote. It will pass. I think it is unfortunate, but that's the plan right now.
All right. So obviously Speaker Johnson will then get what he wants. The reality is tonight, of course, it's a pretty basic thing for a speaker and those around him, right? I mean, they miscalculated who was going to be there, and that error led them to bring this now and have a failure. At least for now. Then, of course, the Israel vote was a clear fail for tonight and for the future, because obviously you needed a larger margin there. Do you think Speaker Johnson is capable of managing the GOP conference right now?
I do. I think it's very difficult. Today he had a 2-vote, 3-vote majority. Very difficult to get 216, 215 people to agree on anything. And so when we are moving forward, I think he will find more legislation that has a broader response. He clearly needs to govern with Democrats. It is, in my view, it is always a mistake to try to impeach a president or a cabinet official or anybody else on a party line vote. And so in the future, I think we're going to see more Democrat-Republican votes. And some people think that's healthy, some people think it's unhealthy, but that's the way this year will play out.
So the border bill, which is the heart of all of this, the border, appears dead now in the Senate. Now, last week when you and I spoke, Congressman, you said you thought it should be debated on the floor, that it needed that. There's no more important issue. You said that those who at the time were saying it's dead on arrival, that, by the way, is the Speaker of the House who said that. You said that those who shared that opinion were acting prematurely and unfairly. Yet here we are. How did this happen?
Well, it happened because the Senate blew this up, and they have a 60-vote requirement over in the Senate. They weren't going to get 60 votes. I don't know if they're going to push this off for a week or two. But, Erin, the really important thing from my perspective is that we have a starting place. This bill isn't perfect, but we've got to be able to debate something, amend something, and make a bill stronger so that we can go forward. The border is unacceptable, and nobody on either side can argue that we should continue the status quo.
So Republican Senator James Langford, a principled conservative who stepped up when his party called and negotiated in good faith and bipartisan basis, he worked his tail off on this bill. And he did it in good faith, and that is clear. It's getting him now an incredible amount of blowback from Republicans, including Trump. And here's what Trump said.
Just to correct the record, I did not endorse Senator Langford. I didn't do it. I think this is a very bad bill for his career, and especially in Oklahoma.
I'm obviously not going to debate the bill, although Democrats and Republicans who did it said it was the strongest in decades, and it was obviously done in incredibly good faith by Senator Langford. Of course, Trump, though, did endorse Langford. So what he said there is just blatantly false. I didn't do it. He did. He actually issued a statement at the time saying he's giving Langford his, quote, complete and total endorsement. And he actually said, and I quote, Congressman Langford is, quote, strong on the border. So just because the facts matter, I did want to lay that out for everyone watching. But what do you think of how Senator Langford is being treated now by some in your party, including the former president?
Jim Langford's a good friend of mine, and I am really sad that he has to go through this. He did step up. Everybody knows that immigration is the graveyard where political careers go. And Senator Langford stepped up. He did his very best. You're never going to pass something on a partisan basis through the Senate and the House at this point in time. So he tried to do something that would bring people together. And as I said, I think it's a starting point. It's not where I would end up with a bill, but it is something. And I think that when he looks back at his career, he is going to be proud of the fact that he was able to bring people together and get this bill in some form before the Senate.
All right. Well, I appreciate it very much, Congressman. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado, who said voting against impeachment and defeating that for tonight.